Good morning, gang. So, as you can see, I'm sitting outside. Believe it or not, it is 65 degrees here. Who would have thought last week it was, 10? And God knows we saw the snow and everything like that. And now, of course, we're outside and can enjoy a little bit of a warm day. And Mrs. Pinball's out looking to see as her tulips are coming up. So, welcome to the Grand Solar Minimum. So, all right. So, y'all know how I talk about being self-sufficient all the time and ask the question constantly about, if you can't leave your house, your property, can you survive? All right. And a couple of you have sent me stories on what's going on in England. I saw a story that India has stopped administering the vaccination altogether. But I mean, that's, just what's kind of going on in the world, right? And we all know stories. I don't have to rehash any of those. But what I wanted to talk about today was, again, being self-sufficient for your food. And I'm talking about more than, stocking beans and rice and canned goods and, all that sort of stuff. If anybody has seen the stories that have come out in the last couple of days about all this fake meat, for lack of any better way to put it, you might want to go look this up. Now, whether you know it or whether you don't, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, has been printing chicken nuggets here for about the last year. All right. And so the chicken nuggets that you're getting at Kentucky Fried Chicken aren't actually chicken. Interesting. I wonder how many of us knew that. But this came out Sunday. I always love how they try to bury news, when you see a story that comes out. But I just want to read a quick part to you. With rising demand for meat alternatives bringing venture capital investors and even food giants such as McDonald's and Nestle to the table, startups are moving beyond faux burgers and chicken nuggets to 3D printed meat. There's now a company out of Israel called Redefine Meat that has raised $29 million in the U.S. to build a factory here to produce 3D printed beef, ranging from rump roasts to brisket. All right. Now, as the guy says, we want to change the belief that delicious meat can only come from animals. We have all the building blocks in place to make this a reality. The CEO, Escher Ben Shitrit, nice name, told Bloomberg. They use proprietary 3D printers and plant-based ink to print a large complex of layering muscle and fat to produce meat that is the same flavor and texture as prime beef. Now, this is kind of my point. All right, we've all seen the stories about, we're going to eat worms, we're going to eat bugs, we're going to eat plant proteins, all this sort of crazy crap. Personally, I don't feel like eating. This isn't even GMO stuff, okay? This is genetically engineered stuff, even if you will, all right? It's not modified. This is created. And, I don't know. I think God did a pretty good job creating cows and pigs and chickens and everything of the sort, along those lines. My question to everybody here is, where the hell does this stop? Okay? What's next? Oh, you know what? You're not going to be allowed to have children anymore. We'll print one up in the lab for you. Think about it, okay? We already know that, the stem cell research, which I do support, okay? At least that's genetic, all right? And maybe help some people. But if we can start genetically printing food, how long does it take till we genetically print organs? That's probably already there for organ transplants and stuff like that. Well, hey, if you can print all the organs, why not just print an entire person? Who needs Match.com? You can just go online, tap in the criteria for a mate you want, and hit your 3D printer, and poof, you have your new boyfriend, girlfriend, G friend, whatever would be, okay? This is getting scary, guys, where science is taking this. And while I'm all for scientific advancement, hey, if we could find a cure for cancer, that would be wonderful. But, when we're starting to create stuff, that's God's job, not man's job. And, I don't feel like eating, for all intents and purposes, a plastic steak or, whatever. I mean, because who knows where this stuff's coming from, right? And what's put in it, This is what I'm saying. I mean, we need to be raising our own food. You need to be making arrangements with, people that you know. Me, I'm a gardener, but I don't raise livestock, all right? Do I know people that have, chickens and eggs and stuff like that? Yes. Okay. Will that help? Will the barter come into play? Sure. Around me, there's a whole lot of cattle, and it would behoove me to make some relationships with these guys eventually for cattle. I do know of people that know people in the slaughterhouse business, so getting a cow butchered or whatever, just like everybody else, of course, that is backed up a year at this point. But this is what I'm saying. If you go off of that map that I put, and for all of those guys, all of you that asked where the map is to show what areas are going to be populated, not populated, whatever it would be, it's on the Pinball Preparedness homepage. Go to the community tab and you can see the map there as to what their plan is to determine what is going to be human habitated spaces and non-habitated spaces, whatever the word is. So look at that, and I mean, that's what we're looking at, guys. It's going to be a food issue. We're already seeing all of the other ways they're trying to control, but ultimately it comes down to he who controls the food controls the people. And I know we all harp on this enough and prep, but like I said, your preps are going to last you a defined amount of time. If you got a year's worth of food, it's going to last you a year. You need to figure out what you're going to do on the 366th day, all right? And this is where I'm saying you've got to come up with some way to produce your own food. For a lot of us, that means gardening, raising food and everything. Obviously, it takes land, and, I mean, as great as a backyard garden is, or something in an apartment patio, that's wonderful that you got it, but you're not going to be able to eat off of it for a year. So you need to be able to figure out how to scale up your food production, because otherwise you are going to be one of these people who's going to be forced to be moved into the city and the Soviet-style apartment complexes and everything like we've talked about in a few different videos. So, this is what's coming, guys. It's in the news. This is real. This is not conspiracy stuff, okay? Kentucky Fried Chicken is printing chicken nuggets. McDonald's now wants to print hamburger patties. This company wants to print the steaks. When you go to the grocery store, you're going to need to look, is this actual real beef or is this fake beef? And at the beginning, the fake beef is going to be more expensive, but eventually, just like everything else, the fake beef is going to be cheaper and the real stuff is going to be more expensive, and that's how they're going to try to get people on it. Oh, you want a steak? It's $20 a pound, like we see, for now, okay, or did over in the fall, but if you see, oh, here's a printed steak, it's $5, you're like, hey, you know what? We can have steaks for dinner. Who cares if it's printed? That's what they want you to do. And then the question, this is still my question that nobody can come up with a good answer. What are you going to do with all the cows and pigs? You going to just let them run wild? Okay. Look why we have a deer hunting season, because if you don't, the deer population explodes and then you have other problems. Imagine the cow population exploding and you have cows walking down Main Street. This is my point, guys. This is how asinine and idiotic the politicians we have and these NWO morons are going here. I mean, they are literally, it's beyond trying to play King of the World. They've got to the point they want to play God, and that should scare the hell out of every one of us. Have a good one, guys. I'm going to enjoy a little bit of warm weather. Pinball out.